Hayes is transcendent. It's a place where you know what you're going to get, you know what you're coming in for, you know that the results are going to be amazing.
And we are live in the Bronx as we gear up for a showdown between Cardinal Hayes and the Stony Brook School. A matchup between two teams playing their best basketball, with the Cardinals riding a 7-game winning streak and the Bears winners of 3 in a row here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. So glad you could join us as we welcome you in to Cardinal Hayes High School. Lance Meadow with you. This is quite the battle between a private school and a school from the Bronx that once again is starting to click. Cardinal Hayes averaging 80-plus points on the season. They've scored 80-plus in each of their last 4, whereas Stony Brook School has scored 75-plus during the course of this 3-game winning streak. A lot of size, 6'8", 6'7", that they could turn to in the front court. Cardinal Hayes, of course, a run-and-gun style. That matchup is going to be interesting to watch as we move forward into this game. So let's take you through the impact players for each squad, and we'll start with the road team, the Stony Brook School. Simon David averaging a double-double on the season. He leads the team on the glass with 14 per game to complement his 10 points. Orlando Morris is a sharpshooter, coming in with 13 points and nearly 4 assists per game, as they have a junior and a senior to showcase and do the heavy lifting. Let's move to Cardinal Hayes' side, and there's a lot of depth and a lot of versatility on this team, and they have been turning to various weapons over the course of this 7-game winning streak. So literally you could highlight just about anybody on this team, but Hector Almodovar, he leads the team in assists with 4 a game. He's also shooting a quality percentage from the free throw line, as he has a knack for attacking the rim. And then Christian Brown is their specialist from beyond the arc, coming in with 11 points and 4 rebounds. We spoke with both coaches prior to the game. Joe Lodes for Cardinal Hayes, Ron White for the Stony Brook School. Stony Brook impacting the perimeter shooters. That is a big key for them, closing out overall disciplined defense and getting out and running in the fast break. Cardinal Hayes, it's about continuing to shoot at a high level, improving their defensive communication, and an enthusiastic group that once again is starting to register from all angles and all cylinders, as we are about to get underway here in the Bronx with the officials, Brian Welsh, John Trotta, and Chris Valoris. As the Stony Brook School winning the opening tip, coming in at 11-5 overall, 4-1 in conference play. And it is Morris, their captain, who just surpassed 1,000 points on his career, putting up the first shot of the game and floating it through to give the Bears the early advantage. And that is exactly what Ron White wanted to see, attacking in the paint as Fields off the mark on the triple. And there for the rebound is Jeremiah Cody, junior point guard out of Huntington Station, New York, who is considered a Swiss Army knife. He could do a little bit of everything. Shoot, attack the rim. Here's Morris from well beyond the arc. And off the stop, Cardinal Hayes looking to tie this game up with Amadou Barry unable to connect inside, as the Stony Brook School setting the tone here, preventing second chance opportunities, which is going to be a critical storyline in this contest. And there was contact right around the timeline. So they're going to get Malik Fields on the personal. That'll be his first and the team's first. Cardinal Hayes 10-5 overall, 6-2 here at home. Both of these teams played on Wednesday. Stony Brook School topping Portland the 6'7" senior out of Nigeria. So a 4-0 advantage for the road team as Almodovar cannot connect. Here's Fields off the rebound, and they're winning the battle on the glass. Simon David, who leads the team in that category and taking advantage of his 6'8" frame. Tight pressure as Cody gets out of traffic. Augustine nearly losing it to Brown as they'll reset here with 7 on the shot clock, and David well off the mark. So Fields here looking to push to Suleiman Cone. And it's taken away by David as helter-skelter play continues here with Cameron Gray taking over, one of 2 8th graders on this team. And off the steal, Brown with a clear path and the two-handed slam to put Cardinal Hayes on the board for the first time. And how the Bears handle this full-court press is going to tell an awful lot about the flow of this game. And there, it leads to a turnover with an over and back. As we have seen Stony Brook School trying to set the tone with the pace in the early stages of this game, and it has led to some good looks from mid-range. As we see a bit of a 2-3 zone being showcased. They'll play man-to-man and zone. Brown gets a good look and dials it up long range right in front of the opposing bench. As Christian Brown has all 5 points for Cardinal Hayes. Stony Brook School taking part in the Hoop Hall Invitational in Springfield, Massachusetts last weekend as they collided with Auburn. An impressive 84-37 victory for them. And they have been tested all throughout Long Island. Tight games against Chaminade and Holy Trinity. They topped Long Island Lutheran twice. This is going to be the latest challenge for them. Getting a team that plays a little bit different flavor of basketball with respect to the intensity and the speed that Cardinal Hayes brings to the table. And it is the Cardinals holding on to a 1-point advantage. With under 5 minutes to go in quarter number 1. Brown again from the corner. And there to secure it is Aiden Helton, junior guard out of Japan. There's a lot of international flavor on this team. As Cody will reset. He's a slasher, has a knack for getting to the rim. 16 on the shot clock, and he tries to shuffle it into traffic. Stolen by Almodovar, up ahead to Brown, and it is the Christian Brown show. He's got all 7 of Cardinal Hayes' points, and the Bears want to talk things over here in quarter number 1 as Christian Brown showcasing his ability to get out in transition to complement his 3-point shooting. And it is Brown 7 and the Bears 4 with his ability to get out and run on the break off of quick rebounds. They are not wasting any time to set out in the half-court set. They want to put the pressure on the Stony Brook School to see whether or not they could hustle back and slow down the intensity of this squad. So let's take it through the starting lineup for both of these teams who we saw at tip-off. And Cardinal Hayes sticking with its usual 5. Malik Fields is their top scorer, 18 a game. Amadou Barry right behind him, averaging 15 a contest, and he also has just over 6 rebounds per game. So there is a lot of scoring punch amongst the 5 here for the Cardinals. And the Stony Brook School, we talked about their length and their versatility. One player averaging a double-double on the season, who we highlighted off the top, Simon David. Morris also averages double figures with 13 a game, and Augustine right between them at 14 and a half. So that's 3 double-digit scorers for the Bears. And off the pump, a clear path, but unable to finish is Morris. But here comes a second chance opportunity thanks to Augustine. They opened this game on a 4-0 run. Since then, 7 straight for Cardinal Hayes, and it's going to end there thanks to the smooth touch from Morris, who has 5 of his team's 7 points. The quick release back the other end falls through for Bryce Yancey as he provides a punch from beyond the arc, shooting 31% from downtown this season, as that is his 16th triple of the year. So with 3:50 to go, it's going to be the Stony Brook Schools basketball, as there was some activity after the shot. And that is why we're seeing a technical free throw be attempted here for Orlando Morris, who gets the bounce. And that will cut into the deficit, plus give them possession. And a little too much celebration after the three for Yancey, as Morris capitalizes and hits a pair of free throws.
Technical foul, unsportsmanlike conduct, for saying the N-word.
So it was for unsportsmanlike conduct. That was the result of the technical foul. And that is why Morris went to the line. Vulgar language being utilized. So it makes it a 1-point game. Cody to the rim. And the long arms by David going sky high to collect the offensive rebound, and that leads to a foul against Cardinal Hayes. They're going to get Christian Brown on the personal. And that is going to be the third against the team. So Aiden Helton inbounding, and an offensive foul, an illegal screen set down low by the baseline by Simon David. And he's going to give the ball back here to Cardinal Hayes. As both teams trying to get back into rhythm here and navigate some of the fouls that are starting to pile up. Christian Brown has 7 of Cardinal Hayes' 10 points. He is in the game, as well as Yancey, who's starting to heat up. That's back-to-back trays for him to give him 6. And then off the steal, Cardinal Hayes back in business here with Fields at the rim, and he is able to roll it in for his first 2 points of the day. And that is what Cardinal Hayes will do to you in the blink of an eye. They will apply that full-court press, and just like that, it is a 6-point advantage. High screen here set by David, and the takeaway by Almodovar, who leads Fields to the bucket, and great hands by Walcott, who just checked in to prevent a high percentage look at the rim. Gabriel Walcott, another captain on this team, 6'2" senior out of Medford, New York, who Ron White, the head coach, calls the glue of the team. He grabs the attention of the squad and has outstanding leadership qualities, and it translates to the court. And as Walcott able to save it, and Morris quickly back the other way. The scoop shot blocked out of play by Saleh Atariwa. With his 6'7" frame, it is difficult to get a shot up and over him. And as both teams not shying away from letting their front courts do the heavy lifting. And another over and back violation against the Bears. And we have seen this now twice over the course of this game, as that inbounds pass took Morris and his momentum towards the wrong side of the court. So Fields is going to inbound. He leads the team in scoring, rebounding, steals, and three-point shooting. Had 11 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists in the win here at home on Wednesday against Monroe, in which they were victorious by 50. Yancey with 2 threes in this game, now trying to get to the rim, and the floater with a nifty finish as an exclamation point is now going to give him 8. So 7 for Brown, 8 for Yancey, and a pull-up jumper gives Walcott his first 2. It's coming fast and furious as Christian Brown does not waste any time splashing it through the net yet again. So Brown is in double figures. He's not going to be able to pad his lead, but Fields is there to clean it up, plus the foul. And Malik will head to the line to try to complete the three-point play. As we take a look at Brown unable to get the roll and Fields strong off the offensive board. So he will head to the line where he shoots 57% on the season. Fields knocking on the door of 1,000 career points and cannot capitalize at the line. But they'll get another possession here with a Tariwa fouled underneath. And he will have two opportunities there. And that is what you have to prevent: turnovers and second chance opportunities. Two focal points for Ron White coming into this game is Tariwa with his first missed free throw of the season. He was perfect 3 of 3 prior to that. As he's looking to get on the board for the first time today. And he misses both. So 3 missed free throws for Cardinal Hayes. 1 for Fields, 2 for Tariwa. And the Stony Brook school trying to eat into this double-digit deficit with Morris, one of their top playmakers, losing his footing, but he was bumped by Tariwa. So that'll be the first against him. And that is the team's 4th. Helton, who was handling before he gave it up. First year on varsity. Walcott gives it back to Helton. And a nice scoop pass underneath to David, who was able to capitalize in the paint. As that ended a lengthy run for Cardinal Hayes. The touch pass to Brown in the corner. Nearly tapped back in by Yancey. And some contact on the opposite end of the court as Fields went to the floor, along with Walcott. So it'll be the Bears basketball as they'll inbound here from the far side. With just under a minute to go in quarter number 1. Morris thinking about the 3, the scoop shot. And Brown had it. Fields takes over. And they're going to say that Stony Brook School touched it last, with Walcott having a shoulder out of play. So with 39 seconds to go, Cardinal Hayes cannot hold for the final shot. There's about an 8-second differential between shot clock and game clock. And it has been a balanced attack for the Cardinals. Christian Brown, Bryce Yancey, and Malik Fields, the 3 players that have scored in this game. And one of the players we highlighted off the top of the broadcast was the man that has the basketball, Brown. And it was a struggle for him early this season shooting the ball, but he has turned the corner, and so has Bryce Yancey. His 3rd triple of the day. He's in double figures with 11, and he has had the hot hand and then some for Cardinal Hayes that has now built a 12-point lead in the final few seconds here of the first quarter. Yancey coming into this game shooting 15 of 48 from beyond the arc, and he is going to up that percentage, and the pump fools nearly the entire Cardinal Hayes lineup as David able to take advantage. Fields with 5 seconds, the fadeaway jumper skims the rim, and that is going to do it for the first quarter of action here in the Bronx, as Cardinal Hayes setting the tone from the opening tip-off thanks to Christian Brown. left all alone in transition, and then the sharpshooter going to work from the left wing, and then the corner as he leads the way with 10 points, and it is Cardinal Hayes up by 10 as we step aside on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Jalen Brunson. You're watching Varsity Media.
Cardinal Hayes saved my life. There's a school that gave me the second chance. I want all families to understand the investment that you're making in your life. This is the place in which you walk in as a little boy and come out as a man. One thing I can guarantee you is education. One thing I can guarantee you is that he will go to college, but one thing that I can guarantee you the most, that I'm most proud of, is of the man that he will become in the day of tomorrow. Up Hayes and all its loyal men.
Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email Ben at varsitymedia.net.
Start of the second quarter here in the Bronx with Cardinal Hayes leading the Stony Brook School by 10. Christian Brown with 10 points. Yancey with 11, Fields with 4. And Orlando Morris's 5 points pacing the Bears. Nice cut by Fields, swatted away by Augustine, who challenged the leading scorer for the Cardinals at the rim. So can the Bears capitalize off the defensive stop and pull within single digits? Unable to find the bottom of the rim is Augustine. And here comes Cardinal Hayes with Nas Campbell off the mark. And Barry there to give them another look. Fields straight away. And the long rebound going to Helton, who's looking to push, but slowed down by Fields. Augustine wide open, and he is able to capitalize from beyond the arc as Augustine now is up to 7. And you can see Cardinal Hayes does not waste any time as they had nearly a wide open look for Campbell before it went off of his sneakers out of play. So following the Augustine 3 here, Stony Brook School can get even closer thanks to that mishap by Cardinal Hayes, as Malik Fields is going to get a breather. Now Motivar, Yancey, Campbell, Check Sam in for the first time, and Barry make up their 5. Helton looking to create his own shot with Campbell all up in his grill. They got plenty of time on the shot clock. As Augustine swinging it over to Walcott. They play catch with Helton. Not sure if he called bank, but he'll take it. Another triple pulls them within 4. And then a stop back the other way as it went off of Yancey's knee. And the Stony Brook School is cooking as they have opened this second quarter on a 6-0 run to claw their way back into the thick of things. And a timeout taken by Joe Lodes as he wants to talk things over, as there is another look at the bank shot that fell through for Helton with a difficult angle from right in front of the Cardinal Hayes bench. Helton, the junior from Tokyo, Japan, an exceptional ball handler, but he has the ability to not just create for his teammates, but step up and score from multiple levels, and that has been on full display thus far. He's also a versatile defender who can guard the 1 through 3. And here's a player that comes in averaging just over 5 points a game, but already chipping in on the offensive end in the early goings of this one. Stony Brook School started this game on a 4-0 run before Christian Brown responded with 7 straight points, and since then, Cardinal Hayes has padded its lead, but the Stony Brook School threatening, and it has been their 3-point shooting that has been the difference, and some turnovers starting to pile up as Cardinal Hayes has coughed it up back-to-back possessions. First Campbell, then Yancey. And you're seeing this full-court press being infused by Sam. The turnaround jumper by David. And Augustine getting down and dirty with 4 defenders in his vicinity. And Cardinal Hayes initially got the steal, but Sam was unable to stay in play. So we'll stay with the Bears. Check Sam just checking into this game and showcasing his hustle. Somebody that provides Joe Loads, Cardinals head coach, with length off the bench. And he has proven to be an X factor during stretches of this season. And they have placed very high expectations on him coming into this season. And now that this team is clicking, it's a product of a number of their key contributors off the bench. As a reach-in by Cardinal Hayes will give them their first personal of quarter number 2. Morris, the step back 3, and give that to him. Ring it up from downtown for their sharpshooter, his second trifecta. And it is a 1-point game here in the Bronx. The tables have turned thanks to the Bears' long-range shooting, and Barry off the mark, and they have been holding them to 1 shot per possession. And that is critical and key when you're playing the Cardinals. Good hands there by Yancey to prevent Morris from getting an opportunity in the corner. Morris is in double figures with 10 to lead the way for the Bears. He comes in averaging 13 a game. He just got past 1,000 career points in their last victory against Portledge. And he is not missing a beat as Morris tried to save it, but that is another backcourt violation. That's the 3rd of this game against the Bears, and those are the types of mishaps you just cannot have pile up. Cardinal Hayes has yet to score here in quarter number 2. It is a 9-0 run for the road team. Swarming defense as they try to break it down on the perimeter. Yancey left all alone, and the long rebound goes to Helton, who's looking to push. Gives it up to Morris, and Morris capitalizes to put the Stony Brook School in front. 13 points and counting for Orlando, and off the steal, an exclamation point at the rim for James Augustine, and Joe Loads has seen enough. What has gotten into the Bears as they have turned this game upside down and have taken a 4-point lead thanks to a 14-0 run to open up the second quarter. And you could see Ron White loving what he sees from the bench, talking things over with his squad as Augustine is now up to 9 points. They are taking a page out of the Cardinal Hayes playbook. There's a Cardinals team that loves to turn turnovers into points. Well, now off of the same thing and long rebounds, the Bears have been able to take full advantage. And it's the length that has been a difference maker because guys like Augustine as well as David are preventing Cardinal Hayes from crashing the offensive glass. And that has been problematic for most opponents this season. Cardinal Hayes still seeking its first basket of the second quarter. And look at the aggressiveness there by Helton, but a little too much is going to lead to a personal against him. The good news for the Bears is that is their first of the second quarter. They get it to Barry with his back to the bucket, inside to the cutting Fields, and finally that ends a 14-0 run for the Stony Brook School as Malik Fields is able to solve the riddle. Fields is up to 6. Nearly a response from Walcott. And then on the rebound, Stony Brook School a little too over-aggressive as Fields was boxing out. So that is the second personal against the Bears. Yancey has hit 3 threes in this game. He's going to give it away, though, as Helton leads the break. Morris sealed off by Almodovar, a difficult shot. And Fields off the miss. Look at the push. Barry trying to get it in the corner to Brown, and Wolcott with nifty hands. The intensity on defense has been alive and well, but that is going to be the 4th backcourt violation against the Stony Brook school, and we are not even at the half. The initial pass led an off-balance pass back the other way as Brown cannot connect from the corner. And we're going to get a jump ball here as off the bench, Valteris Slanina, the senior out of Lithuania, tying up Fields, but it's going to go in favor of the Bears. So a nice hustle play there by another player that gives Ron White plenty of length to toy with. You look at him being 6'4", Augustine 6'7", David is 6'8", and we haven't seen Matija Jevic, he's 6'9". So right there, that's 4 players who are 6'4" or taller. The quick release is nothing but net for Jeremiah Cody with his first basket of the day, and the Stony Brook school padding a 5-point lead. And Fields cannot eat into it. Quickly back the other way is Helton, and he is denied a safe arrival by Christian Brown, who met him right at the glass to prevent the floater from passing through. And Joe Lodes wants to talk things over to discuss how his team is going to try to eat into this deficit as we look at Varsity Media, upcoming sportscasts. If you want to book them, you can contact Ben at varsitymedia.net, 516-403-2050. Especially with the spring season on the horizon and sports like lacrosse taking center stage, could very well be a future broadcast for you here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, as Cardinal Hayes has had its hands full with the Stony Brook school. A private school out of Long Island that has been battle-tested leading up to this game. Doing a really nice job preventing second-chance opportunities for the Cardinals. That is part of their bread and butter, and also creating takeaways in the full-court press. But the Bears have handled themselves well for the most part. They've had a number of backcourt violations, but most of that was not necessarily a product of the full-court press. It was ill-advised passes once they set up in their half-court offense. So it's going to be the Stony Brook school possession with 30 to work with on the clock. Cody gives it up to Helton, and Fields is there for another rebound. Brown was blazing out of the gates with 7 straight points, but Fields cannot find room to maneuver. And off the jump stop, Morris cannot finish at the rim. And it'll stay a 5-point game. Almodovar, the bullet feed inside to Fields. The first try's no good, but the second he works his magic. And the leading scorer for Cardinal Hayes on the season is up to 8. And they're going to come up with a steal thanks to Fields' hands. Almodovar bounces it to Fields, and he is in double figures with a quick 4-0 spurt by their most versatile player. And now all of a sudden, the Bears having trouble handling the full court press. Morris gets out of traffic, and the high bank shot, no good. Slanina there off the rebound. And Barry's going to win the battle and not waste any time with the outlet as Fields is able to save it. But Yancey giving it right back to Morris, up ahead to Augustine with emphasis at the rim. And they are able to pad the lead back to 3. Here is Yancey drawing the contact against Augustine. And he will head to the line to shoot a pair. James Augustine has beaten up the rim during the course of the first half, and Yancey is going to head to the line for the first time. They're 0 for 3 from the stripe today. 1 miss for Fields, 2 for Brown, for Atariwa, excuse me. And Yancey is able to finally put one through. A chance to pull them back within a point. And he is able to take advantage of that pair. A 1-point lead for the Bears, who opened this second quarter on a 14-0 run. That's not going to help the cause. Brown glides towards the basket off the steal and makes Stony Brook School pay as Cardinal Hayes back in front, and then a turnover as a result of a push-off by Orlando Morris. So that'll be his first personal, as that was number 2 against number 2. Cardinal Hayes trying to add to its lead. Almodovar splits the defense, and this is going to go the opposite way as Brown and Atariwa were stepping out of play as they attempted to save it. Just over a minute to go in the first half, and we'll have free throws back the other way for the Bears, with Cody able to draw the contact as he was able to sneak through a pair of defenders. We'll see a substitution here with Walcott replacing Augustine. And Cody makes 1 of 2. So that gives him 4 points in the game as we are tied at 35. Fields, the extra pass in the corner to Brown, who launches one and is able to have it drop through. Christian Brown is a man on a mission with 3 threes already in this contest. And the back and forth battle ensues here in the Bronx, with Helton stepping out of play and giving the ball back to the Cardinals with just under a minute to go. Cardinal Hayes trying to work around the perimeter. Atariwa muscling his way inside, and he beats David to the spot plus the harm with an opportunity to complete the 3-point play. So Atariwa with his first made field goal of the day, and he will now have a chance to further add to the cushion here. The junior forward, who also plays for the football team and is a crafty tight end, that is receiving a lot of interest from some powerhouse programs such as Syracuse, Temple, and UConn. And we're going to get another foul here. So go against Cardinal Hayes. So we'll have an inbound underneath, as that was the 3rd team foul. Shot clock is off, so the Stony Brook School can hold for the final opportunity here. Walcott loses his footing. We're going to get a tie-up here. It's going to be a jump ball, and the possession arrow will head the opposite way. So a missed opportunity for the Bears. And now the Cardinals get hold for the final shot. Five seconds to work with. The backdoor cut by Fields, and he can't lay it in off the beautiful feed from Almodovar, but he is going to have a chance to make up for it at the line. Fields 0 for 1 from the line today, 57% on the season. $11 points for him. And Yancey and Brown have rounded out a triple threat for the home team thus far. And Fields makes 1 of 2. So they are not going to get that shot off in time from Jeremiah Cody. And that is going to do it for the first half here in the Bronx, with Cardinal Hayes leading the Stony Brook School 41-35. A 14-0 run for the Bears to start the second quarter, which gave them a 4-point lead before Cardinal Hayes was able to respond. And we're now joined here at the break by head coach Joe Lodes. And Joe, this was a 14-0 run that you had to absorb to start the second quarter from the Stony Brook School. What changed to give them back the momentum, and how did your team respond?
They came to play. Good for them. They got down. I'm sure a lot of resolve. They battled back into the game. Good for them. They made some tough shots. They got a lot of confidence. They saw it press us, which a lot of people do. We're usually the aggressor, but they became the aggressor in the second quarter, to their credit. So we're going to have a good game here the rest of the way.
How much did your full court press towards the latter part of the second quarter you think help you get back into the game, establishing that tone that you've been known so well for this season?
Yeah, well, we need to play our way. We need to play our brand of basketball. I told our guys, we are who we are, and that's who we are. We want to press and trap and get the game going up and down. We scored 25 points in the first quarter, so we were on our way, and then we got a little lethargic. We got careless with the basketball, which we like to do. We'll throw it around the gym if you let us. But we settled down a little bit. We're showing a little bit more maturity as the year goes on.
Christian Brown, who at the beginning of the season was still looking to get back into a shooting form. What do you make of his start to the game and how good he's looked from the perimeter, Joe?
Christian Brown's an excellent shooter. He's one of the best shooters we've had. And when he gets it going, he really gets it going. He'd win a lot of Long Island free throw shooting contests in these CYO gyms. He'd get a lot of free pizza, the kid. So we're lucky to have him. He's an excellent shooter, and he's an excellent kid.
Well, we'll save the pizza for perhaps after the game. I'll let you get back to the team, and best of luck in the second half, Joe. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Joe Lodes with us here at the break with his team leading the Stony Brook School by 6, 41-35, thanks to the long-range shooting from Christian Brown and the ability for Malik Fields to capitalize at the rim. As we will step aside and come back with the start of the second half here from the Bronx on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
We live in a community in which every other option is available except the right option. And this school became the right option for me. My mom said to me, all I want from you is for you to graduate from Patrick Cathedral. Y gracias a Dios, en el clase de 2017, yo me caminé en el San Patricio y vi los ojos de mi madre. Yo llorando la abracé y le dije gracias por esta oportunidad.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
My second base language is Spanish. La cultura es todo. La cultura de Cardinal Hayes define el éxito. What I just said right now is that when you think about a Hayesman, you think of excellence. Excellence is culture, and that's what we're about.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0! City!
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Hey parents, coaches, and players, ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job in exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it, really. I mean, Varsity Media has been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to, I mean, obviously the announcers, the camera angles, the slow motions, I mean, you feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athletes' key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
He's got room to go. Merrill towards the end zone. Lost his lid. Touchdown!
JJ Damo face off.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
And we are back here in the Bronx, Cardinal Hayes High School. So glad you could join us on the Varsity Media Sports Network with the Cardinals leading the Bears of the Stony Brook School by 6. An eventful first half in this contest is the Stony Brook School jumped out to a 4-0 lead. Christian Brown went on a 7-0 run all by himself, and then a 14-0 run to start the second quarter for the Bears gave them a 4-point advantage before Cardinal Hayes responded. So let's take you through some highlights for the first half. And I mentioned Christian Brown right out of the gates, not messing around, off the steal, able to slam it home. And James Augustine showcasing his range from beyond the arc for the Bears, and then also attacking the rim off the nice feed from the backcourt, and then getting out in front of the pack once again as Augustine did not waste any time leaving his mark on this contest. And then Christian Brown with the Euro step around Helton, and then able to punch it through from beyond the arc as he was able to cash in from just about every angle of this court. Team high 15 points in the first half. Orlando Morris leading the Bears with 13. 3 players scored in double figures for the Cardinals, with Yancey adding 13 and Fields having 11. 4 different players scored for Cardinal Hayes, whereas 6 players were involved for the Bears. And they are right in the thick of things here to start the second half. When they have protected the basketball and they've avoided the turnovers and some of those backcourt violations, their rhythm on offense has looked the part and has been able to match wits with the likes of Cardinal Hayes. So that is going to be crucial for them here as they will get the ball to start the third quarter. And it is going to be David Augustine, Morris, Cody, and Helton rounding out their 5. Ron White refers to Morris as the spokesperson for the team, and he has leads to Morris for 3. And how about another offensive rebound nearly for David? We're going to get a tie-up now between a pair of 10s, Yancey and Cody. And the possession arrow will be in favor of Cardinal Hayes. Yancey feeding it inside to Barry on a quiet first half, and we're going to get a foul on the floor. It's going to go against David, as Barry got him up in the air on the pump. And you'll see here, immediately once David left his feet, Barry figured, I'll go up. Now they say the foul is on the floor, so will not lead to free throws, as David is going to have to head to the bench in some early foul trouble. Ron White not taking any chances, so in comes Slanina, and that mid-range jumper is up and in for Christian Brown, who has a game-high 17 points. And quickly back the other way, the reversal, unable to fall through for Cody. So now Cardinal Hayes will slow things down as Barry pulls up straight away, and he gets the roll. So Amadou Barry with his first make of this contest, and it is a 10-point lead for Cardinal Hayes. Helton off the spin, dumps it inside, and splashing it through is James Augustine for another signature dunk. And Brown stepped out of play beyond the three-point line, so that turnover will hand it back to the Bears. Augustine is in double figures with 11. Can he help spark yet another comeback for his team? As this ball was knocked out of play by Field, so we'll stay with Stony Brook as they trail by 8. The start of the second quarter was a huge difference maker as they are looking to repeat that success Morris with a defender on his hip. Yancey out into the open court. Leaves it to Brown. Fields left all alone, and he is able to swish it through. Malik Fields up to 14 points, and that is his first 3 of this game. And yet another turnover charge to the Bears will keep the ball on this side of the court with Cardinal Hayes operating. Fields came into today with a team-high 35 triples, and you just saw number 36 fall through the net. Barry, off the extra pass, gets an open look. And Augustine, right through the heart of the Cardinal Hayes defense, able to snag the rebound as Helton, feeling the pressure, loses the ball. Brown is going to save it, and Helton somehow comes up with it. So Stony Brook back in business. Morris delivering the feed to Slanina, who was held by the foot from Barry. So Barry is going to pick up the personal. And Amadou was on the ground and had no choice. Now he's arguing that he didn't intentionally hold him, he got tied up with him. But clearly he was on the ground, so it'll be Stony Brook inbounding here with 35 on the shot clock, and a nice bounce pass inside to Augustine, who was able to lay it in to make this a 7-point affair. So Augustine has all 4 of his team's points here in the second half. The touch feed in the corner, and overshooting the rim is Cody. It's fast and furious to start the third quarter here in the Bronx. Now Motivar off the dribble, and he gets it off. Augustine may have gotten a piece of it, and Brown is there for the putback. And yet another turnover off the deflection. And that has been a problematic area for the Bears. You think about the lost possessions for them in a game that has gone back and forth. You cannot afford to cough it up as much as we've seen from the latter stages of the second quarter to the present. Brown behind the defense, and he is able to find the bottom of the net. Christian Brown is having a memorable game with 4 threes and counting. Now Motivar nearly steals it. Helton the pull-up, well off the mark. And Barry leading the break. Yancey off the double clutch. And he is fouled by Morris. And Ron White is going to call a timeout to try to get his team to regroup. As Cardinal Hayes running and gunning, dictating the terms of this game here in the second half. Thanks to long rebounds, as Joe loads his squad, has flipped this game around thanks to dribble penetration. We look at their upcoming schedule. They'll visit Holy Cross, and they'll return home here later this month against St. Raymond. And that game will be for your viewing pleasure here on the Varsity Media Sports Network before they visit Stepanak to round out the month of January. They are currently riding a 7-game winning streak. Last time they had a setback was at Jefferson to end 2025. High-scoring game. They lost by 100-96. Since then, it has been 7 in a row. And Yancey is going to head to the line where he shoots 60%. Yancey 2 for 2 today. Talking with Joe Loads over the course of the season, one of the terms that comes up is a scrappy player as he stays perfect, 3 for 3. And you could tell the hustle, the way he goes after rebounds. You need that from a member of the backcourt. As Yancey makes 1 of 2. And there to grab the loose ball is David, who is navigating some foul trouble. But back on the court to help his team rally back from a 13-point deficit. They feed it to David. short. And there is Fields. Quickly back the other way. The pull-up contested jumper. And Atariwa jumped over the back of Slania. So that is 2 team fouls against Cardinal Hayes, the same tally for Stony Brook. Slanina will do the honors, and he's going to have to help his teammates break down this full court press. That is what has helped Cardinal Hayes get back into this game and now jump out to a sizable lead. It's going to be a travel against Walcott. And when they went on a 14-0 run to start the second quarter, there was no disruption for their offense as Brown is in and out on the 3. But since then, they have not been able to maintain possession of the basketball as a result of these turnovers. As we're going to see Brandon Bird for the first time today for Cardinal Hayes. Atariwa is going to get a breather. Bird is coming off a very impressive game Wednesday here at home against Monroe. 11 points. He was 3 of 3 from beyond the arc. Also had 2 rebounds and 3 steals, and it speaks volumes of the depth that this Cardinal Hayes team is able to showcase. As the lob up top to David from Walcott works to perfection. But it is still an 11-point advantage for Cardinal Hayes, and we're going to get a backcourt violation and over and back. And this one is going to be charged to Cardinal Hayes, as we have seen that plague Stony Brook in this contest. And we're going to have a timeout here. It'll be a 30-second timeout as Joe Lodes wants to talk things over with his team. Leading 54-43. Upcoming broadcast here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. January 27th with a 4 p.m. Eastern tip-off. Cardinal Hayes here at home hosting St. Raymond. And you can watch that on youtube.com/Varsity Media. As Varsity Media, the exclusive home for Cardinal Hayes basketball. As the Cardinals were in a bit of uncharted territory earlier in this game before they jumped out to a sizable lead. And they have held serve ever since midway through the second quarter after they survived that 14-0 run by the Bears. Walcott feeding it inside to David, who's immediately double-teamed by a pair of guards. And he just loses it as Brown comes up with it. And Almodovar, the no-look feed inside to Fields, who somehow is able to secure it and lay it in through the thick of the Stony Brook defense. Malik Fields is one heck of a player, and he's got 5 points here in the second half and draws a foul from behind against Augustine. And Augustine and Yancey exchanging a few words, and Fields is shaken up. Still on the ground after taking a bump. Looks like he may have fell awkwardly on his side. So Joe Lodes is going to come out to attend to Malik Fields as both teams return to their respective benches. And Fields helped up by Lodes, and he's going to walk off under his own power, so that as he was a bit shaken up. And it looks like Joe Lodes is going to give Fields a breather as they'll bring back to the court Brown, Yancey, Almodovar. Suleiman Cone is going to replace Fields, and Bird rounds out the 5 for them. Fields is now up to 16 points. But it is Christian Brown with 22. Highlighted by 4 threes. They have not had an answer for him, and that matches his season high. So the next basket will break it. As Brown feeds Bird underneath. Kicks it out to Cone, and Cone is the latest to dial up long distance for Cardinal Hayes as the shooting clinic adds another chapter with this lead up to 16. Augustine able to get it into the front court. And he'll wisely give it up to Morris in a reach-in by Yancey. Morris, he was trying to get towards the basketball. He's got Yancey to beat. So instead, Walcott giving up to Augustine. Augustine looking for some help here. As we approach 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, and a dangerous lob intended for Augustine. Brown's got a clear path, and he's going to lay it in for a new season high of 24 points. Christian Brown doing it all on offense and defense. As we take another look off the steal, nobody able to get in his way. As Cardinal Hayes extends the advantage to 18 here in the third quarter, with Christian Brown accounting for 9 points in the second half. And here is a player that has been known for his shooting prowess throughout the course of his career, but it was a slow start for him this year as he was trying to get into rhythm, and the team was patiently waiting for him to return to his sophomore form. And now that they are in the midst of a 7-game winning streak, he has quieted all skeptics and any criticism whatsoever coming his way, because he has proven that he is one of the best shooters in the New York Catholic League. And this is just the latest evidence. And last season, Brown averaged 4 points. This season, it's up to 11, so that's +7 in that department. And a big reason why is the three-point shooting. Spent a lot of time in the gym this summer, honing his craft. And Joe Lodes has referred to Christian Brown, and keep in mind, Joe has coached a wealth of talent in this program for 17 seasons, is one of the best shooters and one of the best players that he's had the privilege of guiding. As this ball was deflected out right behind our setup, so somebody had to go track down the basketball, and that someone was our esteemed producer, Becca Kazaks, who's doing double duty this evening here in the Bronx. Cody had it, then lost it, and the long hands of David able to bring it back the opposite way. And how about that Euro step and the pretty finish, but they're going to wave it off for Cody because David got both hands on the rim, and it's going to be offensive basket interference after a magnificent move by Jeremiah Cody. Unfortunately, it's not going to count on the scoreboard. That is for Brandon Bird, who is picking up where he left off Wednesday against Monroe. As we see Cameron Gray try to find the bottom of the net. And right through a pair of defenders came Walcott. Now Motivar and Cone were there for the collision. It's going to go against Cone. And we're going to see free throws since that was the 5th team foul against Cardinal Hayes. So heading to the line is going to be Gabriel Walcott, one of 2 captains on this team, the senior out of Medford, New York. This is first trip to the stripe today after he had a made field goal in the first half. He's been with the team for 2 years, and Ron White relies on his consistency. He's essentially an extension of the coaching staff because of his veteran leadership. And good hands here again by Walcott. Can he beat Yancey? No, he can't, but there was contact en route to the basket. So another trip to the line for Gabriel. As with the clock stopped, just trying to cut into this 18-point deficit. As Cardinal Hayes has been able to build upon it through the majority of the third quarter. Walcott is known for his defense, as we saw him get his hand in the passing lane on the previous possession. So he makes one of two. As Morris will get a breather. Helton's back in with Cody, Gray, Walcott, and David. As we're seeing a bit of a 2-3 zone employed by the Bears in the final 30 seconds of the third quarter. Now Motivar, the pull-up jumper. Loose ball tapped around, Cone comes down with it, and right with the right hand is able to put it back. So Suleiman Cone with a 3 and a 2 here in the third quarter. And with 10 seconds to go and a turnover by the Bears, they have a chance to push this lead to 20. Five seconds to work with for Yancey. The left-handed scoop blocked by David. And that is going to do it for the third quarter. But they're going to look like they may put a second back on, and that's exactly what they are going to do with the ball deflected out of play. As David got his hands up to prevent an opportunity for Yancey. So it was the last touch by, they're going to say, Cardinal Hayes, and that prayer will end quarter number 3 here in the Bronx with the home team having an 18-point lead. 65-47. As we take a look at some of the highlights from the third, Malik Fields and Christian Brown able to tally it up from beyond the arc, and then Fields showing his versatility underneath the basket off the beautiful feed from Almodovar, and even Brown able to attack the rim off a steal. It is Cardinal Hayes up comfortably after 3 on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
The core of what we do is informed by our Catholic faith.
Faith is something that permeates the building.
I would say a majority of our students are not Catholic.
I myself am not a practicing Catholic.
Even though the kids may not be Catholic, they're being formed by those character building values that come from the Gospels, that come from what Jesus taught us.
We really leaned into our faith and our perseverance of Hayes and all its loyal men.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Start of the fourth quarter here inside Cardinal Hayes High School. As the Bears trying to mount a comeback, trailing by 18. Swarming defense again. The fadeaway jumper by Morris. And Barry is there for the rebound. As he gives it up to Bird, he fields from the corner, and Malik Fields is cooking. The three's starting to fall, his second of the second half. And it is a 21-point advantage for Cardinal Hayes. as Fields has 8 points in the second half, giving him now 19 on the game. Cone off the steal, taken off, and slamming it home as Suleiman Cone has come to life in the final 2 quarters of this one. Cone has scored all 7 of his points in these final 2 quarters. Bird sealed off by David, and that'll be another personal against him. So Cardinal Hayes is going to inbound underneath their own basket. Barry and Cone play catch, and Suleiman loses it, so a fast break opportunity, and that is deleted by Brandon Bird's hustle, and they're going to say it was the last touch by Cody off of his fingertips. It's like Suleiman Cone, and just giving them some extra gas in the tank, and Bird looking to do it on offense. Brandon Bird did not miss a 3 in the last game, and he has not missed a beat in this one. So it has been Bird, it has been Cone. Those 2 guys off the bench have complimented the likes of Malik Fields and Christian Brown. As Helton will inbound. And he leaves it for Augustine. Long rebound off the miss by Cody. Ends up in the hands here of Barry. Fields, you do not want to give him room as they dodge the bullet there, Stony Brook. Morris trying to slice through the defense. Cody switching hands and banking it in for a hard-earned deuce. So that is Cody's first bucket of the second half, with Barry feeding it inside to Fields, and you can count that bucket plus the foul as Fields was able to sneak behind the heart of the Bears defense. And Malik Fields now has a pair of 2s and a pair of 3s in the second half alone, as he has now surpassed 20 points on the day. He is 1 for 3 from the line today. And you can make it 2 of 4. Cody spotting up. And Fields getting it done on both ends. Tries to dump it off, gets it back. Barry the cutter, and he gets the friendly roll. So Amadou Barry hustling back towards the opposite end for his second make of the day. When they get Barry involved, they're even that much more dangerous, as Morris off the mark, because A, he stays engaged, but also he proves to be quite the threat inside. And that is a rare miss for Brandon Bird from beyond the arc, and Barry has no choice but to attempt to throw it off the opposition, and he does that successfully. So it's going to stay with Cardinal Hayes here with 5:12 to go. This was a game in which Stony Brook went on a 14-0 run to begin the second quarter, but since then, Cardinal Hayes has had all the answers to the test. Fields with the left hand, and Barry nearly secured it with one. They feed it in the corner. And a difficult pass attempt by Cody, and they're going to get contact on the feed, which was intended for Morris. So it'll be a reach on Cardinal Hayes, as Cone and Fields will take a seat. And we'll see Sam, Romero, Campbell in as well, as Brown also takes a seat for Cardinal Hayes. They'll join Barry and Bird, who will stay in the game. Helton, the floater up and in off dribble penetration, and Ron White is going to take a quick timeout just to give his team a bit of a breather as they surpass the 50-point plateau. Take a look at the Stony Brook School schedule upcoming to finish up the month of January. Home for 3 affairs: St. Dominic's, Martin Luther, at Portledge, a team they just beat on Wednesday 75-63. So that'll be the second matchup for them against Portledge. They started the season 0-3. Since then, they've won 11 of their last 13, including 3 straight. But it appears that rise is going to end here in the Bronx. Ron White talked about how big of a challenge this was going to be for his team. As we see, he's in his 3rd season at the helm. Prior to taking over the head coaching position at the Stony Brook School, he served as the head coach at Bridgehampton School, his alma mater, where he played. He helped lead the program to 3 straight titles, graduated from there in 1999. And he has done an excellent job looking to build up this program. He's also an advancement officer at the school, in addition to being the basketball coach. And he's off the takeaway. The Bears have a chance in the half court here. Morris the pull-up, and he is able to dial it up for a long 2 to make it a 78-50. It's the battle with Campbell, as 4 straight points for the Stony Brook School further prove this team is not going away without a battle here. The skip pass to Bird, and this time he is able to cash it in. Brandon Bird has become quite the threat from long distance. His second 3, as he has 8 points and counting, and Romero off the rebound is going to give it up to Campbell. In and out of traffic. The rebound by David. And this is going to be a foul against Cardinal Hayes, as we'll see Cone return and Barry take a seat for the Cardinals. So many unsung heroes on this Cardinal Hayes team. When you think about this squad, all of the attention normally goes to Fields and Barry, but you really can't talk enough about some of the other players, as Helton is able to drop it through. Bird, Brown, Cone, those 3 in particular. Today I'll add Yancey to the mix, as Cone with the left hand slashing through, and there on the offensive glass is Sam for the putback. Just under 3 minutes to go here in the Bronx. And Cardinal Hayes looking to extend its winning streak to 8 games. They came into this contest averaging 78 a game. Well, they are over that average, and they now have made it in each of the last 5 games 80-plus points. Their offense is full go, as Augustine able to beat up the rim with another easy look underneath. So 6 of his 15 have come in the second half, as Cody thought he was going to have a clear path, but a little too over-aggressive was Stony Brook. The Bears, on the other hand, came into today averaging 67 points a game, so they're slightly below their average, but they only have been allowing 55 a game, as Morris is short. And it says a lot about the capabilities of this Cardinal Hayes offense to put 83 on their defense. thought maybe they were going to go for the alley-oop. And instead, it was a bank shot attempt by MJ Hill. He's the other 8th grader on this team, joining Cameron Gray, native of North Babylon, New York. Ron White calling him one of the best players in his class in the country, as Augustine is going to head to the line. Really proved himself in tryouts, Hill. And he's looked the part. That was what the coaching staff was trying to assess. Could an 8th grader handle the pressure that you need to deal with consistently on the varsity level? And he has proven that he belongs. And they just played in the Hoop Hall Classic in Springfield against Auburn, and they were up big, so that gave Ron White an opportunity to put Hill in the game and got some valuable minutes. As we see Hill's jumper a little too hard off the glass, but he pokes it away from Romero, as Morris is going to drop it off to Augustine, and it's proven to be a hot potato. Can Cone settle things down? Yes, he can, as he is able to extend with the left. Morris, the runner. And he was able to catch Cardinal Hayes sleeping. Suleiman Cone with all 9 of his points here in the final 2 quarters. A very athletic player off the bench for Joe Lodes. Morris has plenty of athleticism as well, and he's going to earn a trip to the line, colliding with Campbell, but they're going to get the foul against Bird. Morris 2 for 2 today from the line, so he stays perfect. And that is Morris's first points of the second half after he scored 13 in the first half. So Cardinal Hayes did a really nice job keeping him in check. Sam with some maneuver, but then loses control of the ball. It was last touch by the Bears. And I mentioned Cardinal Hayes has scored 80-plus in each of the last 5, but since they're flirting with 90, they can make it 90-plus in 4 of the last 5. As that ball deflected out of play by Hill, it will stay with Cardinal Hayes. On White going to his bench. Helton back in. Morris, a 2-time all-conference player and top 25 player on Long Island. Getting challenged by the backcourt of Cardinal Hayes all throughout this game. Having to deal with Almodovar, and Cone, and Fields. That'll just better prepare Stony Brook for what lies ahead on Long Island. Is Cody at the stripe, where prior to that miss, he was 1 for 2. And he will salvage it with a make on the second, as he has 3 points here in the second half to give him 7 on the game, as Campbell is able to split 2 defenders. Cone going for a highlight reel play. And Campbell is there to secure the loose ball to Bird, who gets a ring around the rosy for what we'll call the exclamation point to this game. Brandon Bird looking like Larry Bird today. And they have reached the 90-point mark for the 4th time in the last 5 games. As Bird is going to settle for a mid-range jumper. Brandon Bird, the clinic, has added yet another chapter. The runner by Hill and the rebound by Cone is going to do it. as Cardinal Hayes extends its winning streak to 8 games with a commanding second-half performance leading to a 92-64 victory over the Stony Brook School on Long Island. And Cardinal Hayes led by a balanced attack, as we will take a breather, step aside, come back with post-game reaction right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Back here in the Bronx, Cardinal Hayes High School, as the Cardinals cruise to a 92-64 victory over the Stony Brook School to extend their winning streak to 8 games. And we are now joined by the player of the game who poured in a season-high 24 points, highlighted by 4 threes, none other than Christian Brown. Christian, they went on a 14-0 run to start the second quarter, went in front by 4, and then since then, you and your teammates took full command of this game. What changed after that 14-0 run that enabled you to make sure that this game was out of reach?
I think just playing with a lot of energy. I mean, the coaches in the huddle, they always tell us not to panic, and we just got stick to that. We practice every day. We practice and practice, all going 0-10, and just coming back from a deficit, and we work on that every day, so just doing that in the game and executing.
This offense has scored 90-plus points in 4 of the last 5 games. How much, as you're approaching the tail end of January, would you say this team is truly starting to click and playing its best basketball?
Yeah, definitely. We're just playing together. I mean, everybody on this team, I feel like they'll get a bucket. We got players off the bench coming in, playing with a lot of energy. And even in the starting unit, everybody on the starting unit, I feel like they'll get 20 on any given day. So just sticking together, playing with a lot of energy on defense and offense, and, converting everything.
Well, you mentioned the play of the bench. The guy standing right behind you, Brandon Bird, I don't know what he's been drinking lately because he can't miss from beyond the arc. And when you and him are showcasing your range, an extremely dangerous team, how fun is it to be able to shoot at such a high percentage, the two of you, and dictate the tone on offense the last few games?
Yeah, it's definitely great. I mean, especially Bird coming off the bench, usually you guys shoot like him. He's starting, but, feel me, he coming off the bench, and then me, obviously, starting. Playing good, catching my rhythm is great for the team overall.
Christian, before I let you go, the full court press seemed to be a huge X factor in today's game, flustering the Stony Brook School. And as you well know, it's been a huge facet for your team. Why has that defensive intensity been so successful this year?
Well, first off, I feel like no really team can prepare for that. They're not really prepared to handle pressure like we do. We're long, we play fast, we're athletic. And nobody can prepare for that. We convert on turnovers, we force turnovers, and just staying consistent in all that. And our defense, scoring in transition, all that.
Well, I'll let you go on that note. Certainly appreciate the time. I know your teammates want to greet you as they're taking care of business with a little bit of a shower here for Christian Brown. as Brandon Bird did a heck of a job protecting the equipment. We thank him tremendously. You didn't catch that, I don't think, on camera, but how about him knowing he's got to maintain the quality of the headset as Christian Brown received quite the pull as we see him walk off the court, all smiles. Quite the performance for him with a season-high 24 points. 4 threes to lead the way for Cardinal Hayes past the Stony Brook School, as this was quite the game from start to finish. And it started off with Orlando Morrison Company getting into rhythm for the Stony Brook School, but then Bryce Yancey returning the favor as they had to deal with the length of James Augustine as well as Simon David. But Cardinal Hayes pressure defense, Suleiman Cohn taking flight, and then Christian Brown able to lay it in thanks to his defensive intensity. Our executive producer, Ben Turchin, technical director, Becca Kazaks, our camera operator, Kevin Catalanato. For our entire crew, I'm Lance Meadows saying so long from Cardinal Hayes High School in the Bronx. The final score once again, Cardinal Hayes 92, the Stony Brook School 64, as Cardinal Hayes on an 8-game winning streak as we sign off on the Varsity Media Sports